I'ma fuck up my life. I'ma fuck up my life. We gon' party all night. She don't care if I die.
What's up, guys? Steve-Hawk-Anime Destroyer here, and I'm back with another video, another Rogue Company video. We're gonna talk about another topic. In the last video, which also did very well, I'm gonna keep thanking you guys for these videos doing very well. Like, I like that everybody's enjoying them. I like that everybody is engaging in asking questions in the comments for me to answer. You know, being social. I love that. Keep asking me questions. Ask each other questions in the comments. Have good discussions about the game. Just thank you for how good those videos have been doing. And we're gonna do another one. So in the last one, I brung up the article. I actually linked it. I apologize. For some reason, the website that has the article on it, Xbox Game Hub, took that link and made it a link to something else. So I did go and update that video for you guys. So the last video, the article link will be in this video. But if you were on the last video and you tried to click the link and then it took you to a completely different article, I saw that. I fixed that. So that's not super significant. If you like that other video that much, you can go watch it. But we got Saints Row 3 Remastered gameplay in the background. I think I'm gonna start doing this more because Saints Row 3 Remastered is a blast. It's easy to get gameplay on. There's tons of stuff to do in the game. And I can start making some Saints Row 3 content if you guys would like to. Put that in the comments. If y'all are down for Saints Row 3, any Saints Row at all, put that in the comments and I'll do it. But that is completely a whole nother video. Today we're going to talk about the Xbox Game Hub article. The article is essentially a Scott Zier interview. You don't know who Scott Zier is. He is one of the directors for First Watch. He has worked for Hi-Rez for a really long time. First Watch is the development studio working on Rogue Company. In my opinion, I think that this is I've been telling you guys, this is a super talented group of guys. Almost, I feel as though this is the Hi-Rez A-team. You can go on LinkedIn and you can actually see essentially Scott Zier's entire resume, and it all consists of Hi-Rez. He's been there almost basically since the beginning of the studio. He's worked on Paladins. He's worked on Smite. He was actually one of the lead gameplay developers on Smite. You know, he is very, very reputable in Hi-Rez Studios. He is very, very high up in that studio. He's very respected there. Been there for a long time. So I feel like they brung him and the other developers in hopes that, you know, there's no cutting corners with the personnel that's working on this game. The best of the best at Hi-Rez are working on this game, and I think that that's going to be very, very good for the game's success in the long run. But the article had some points that I did want to touch on. So the first point I did want to touch on, in the last video I talked about the article a little bit, but today I really legitimately read the article, actually comprehended it, used my skills that I've learned in English class all these years, and I legitimately took in the information and what this man was saying in order to make this video. But the first thing I do want to get into is kind of my speculation on what the business model was going to be. So there's actually a part of the article that talks about this. It's pretty brief, but it kind of confirms, it almost kind of confirms what I was saying about it being similar to Smite and Paladins, you know, having a pass for all the characters. Basically what I want from the game. And I guess I'm going to read that for you right now. So the question that was asked was essentially about meta and how they're going to keep people from stacking their teams with DPSs, stacking their teams with supports, and doing things like that, and introducing a legitimate meta to the game and making you kind of want to mix it up on your team. So Scodzier says, in Rogue Company, you not only choose what rogue you want to play, but each rogue also has a selection of different weapons and devices they can acquire over the course of a match. That selection plays a lot into the meta role you'll play on your team. Are you someone who likes to bust in the front door? A roamer looking for trade? Someone who hangs in the back and covers routes? As common in shooters, optimal weapon ranges matter. Your use of gadgets and grenades matter, and of course each rogue has a unique ability and passive that works into your playstyle. Rogues all bring something different to the table, and we have plans to continue to add rogues multiple times per year in a similar model to Smite and Paladins. So this essentially confirms what I was saying. So yeah, if you're playing the alpha right now, all the characters are completely free for you to do whatever you want to do with. They put them onto the alpha server. You can play with them. There's really no credits in the game right now. None of that stuff. They just put the characters out for us to test out, make sure there's not a whole bunch of bugs with them and stuff like that. And we just have them. But a lot of games are like this. Rainbow Six Siege in beta was like that. And when the game came out, they have renown in the game. They have these credits. You play the game, you level up, you get credits. You get enough credits, you can buy an operator or maybe skins of some sort. Later on, they added alpha packs, which are essentially loot boxes in the game, but they only have cosmetics in them, so they're not super scummy, which I'm also not opposed to. Like, Apex Legends has loot boxes in the game, but they also have an item shop. So they have Apex packs that can give you legendary skins, or you could just buy certain legendary skins that come up on the item shop at certain times. And I know that Rogue Company will have weapon wraps. They'll have skins for the rogues themselves. There'll be a lot of different cosmetics in that game. And I'm not opposed to having, maybe every level, or do challenges throughout the day, daily challenges that will grant you a package of some sort that will give you a chance at a rare cosmetic, or a couple of chances at a rare cosmetic. As long as there's no game-changing things in a loot box, like, I'm fine with a loot box. You give a couple of them to me for free. I have the choice to either buy them or buy things out of the item shop themselves, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But this essentially confirms the business model. I would imagine there's going to be a pass, anywhere from $25 to $40, that will essentially give you access to every single rogue basically for the rest of time, which I'm completely on board for. They're probably going to have battle passes on top of that. They'll probably sell a $50 pack that will give you all the characters for basically the pass for all the characters, and battle passes for the whole year, which is still that's just a good deal to me. Like, I don't know. I like Hi-Rez's business model. $50 to me, $50 if I plan on playing the game for the entire year, which I fully intend on doing with Rogue Company. When this game comes out, I'm gonna stream all the time for a long time, and I'm gonna be on this game. So if you're giving me battle passes for the whole year, every single rogue in the game, every single character in the game till the end of time, that's fair to me. There's a lot of work. People have to understand there's a lot of work that goes into this stuff, and they have to make money somehow in a free-to-play game. So that excerpt, that part of the article essentially kind of halfway confirms my theory on the business model for the game, and I'm pretty excited for that. Another interesting talking point from this part of the article is definitely going to be meta. Now, meta is a strategy or in a game. You know, the best possible strategy you could have in a game. Usually this referred to in super competitive games. But meta will be interesting in Rogue Company because it's not necessarily a hero shooter. You know, I want to call it a competitive shooter. Like, I feel like that's kind of a genre now. With Valorant and Counter-Strike and now this and all these games are going free to play. Like, a shooter being any shooter can be competitive, but I feel like some games are like the holy grail of competitive shooters. And I feel like Rogue Company is going to be one of those games. So meta will be very interesting. I am happy that Scott Zier understands that there does need to be some kind of balancing going into the characters in the game. You know, right now, obviously, just because it's an alpha, you do see a lot of teams of just a bunch of damage characters, you know, or a bunch of supports, or a bunch of assassins. And mostly because right now it's just an alpha. We're just playing it for fun. There's literally no ranks. There's no level in the game. We just play the game to play the game. Nothing else. But a meta will be, the way they balance the meta will be interesting. I feel as though the game being third person will make it to where some characters are meta. Okay, because I have went into the issue with third person shooters. Okay, you can see around corners without being around the corner in a third person shooter. And in a competitive environment, that could be kind of frustrating. But why I feel as though Rogue Company's design is so good is because they take precautions within the game and how the maps are designed and the characters in the games are designed to make it to where a lot of things in the game combat that and almost make it not very viable. Right? So we have guys like Dima with the cluster grenades that can bounce off walls. We have Vi with her poison on the ground that can take somebody off a third person peek. We have Dallas and Phoenix, who Phoenix can shoot smoke around a corner that will reveal an enemy's position. Dallas can reveal the MVP's position at any point during the match whenever he wants, beginning, end, middle, in a fight. So there's a lot of reasons to do that. We have a new character in the game that has a ping dart. Shoot it at a wall, shoot it around a corner, and it will start pinging that area. So you'll be able to see you'll be able to see on the minimap if somebody's waiting around that corner, third person peeking you. There's just so many different things in the game that combat that. And that is why I'm excited for this game, because the developers legitimately know what they're doing. Like they made a third person game. Okay. Third person can be kind of annoying. That's why I don't like playing PUBG right now. Okay, I could play PUBG on PC, but none of my friends are on PC. So if I want to play PUBG on PS4 with friends, we're forced to play third person because people on console don't want to play first person. Like, it's almost like the first person playlist shouldn't even be there. But that third person, especially in a battle royale where people can third person peek you from somebody can sit behind a rock and see you from 100 yards away with a sniper rifle and start sniping at you. That's like not fun at all. But with this game, there are necessary precautions everywhere. In the way the maps are designed, there's plenty cover. Now you could say, well, there's plenty cover for me to third person peek behind. And I'm going to tell you, not necessarily, because if the other team is of any way competent in a competitive shooter, they're gonna pick up some kind of marked character, somebody who can essentially clear the place and see, somebody who can gather intel. Look at a game like Rainbow Six Siege. Droning. Use your drones. Bad players always... That's like the telltale sign of a bad player in Rainbow Six. Underuse of their drones. Drones are super, super useful. You drone out a room before you go in, and if the defender in the room doesn't see that you droned them out, you now have the drop on the defender that would have had the drop on you, right? So if I shoot my tracking dart on a wall that's not around the corner, and the third person peeking somehow doesn't understand, like doesn't get the memo that I have a dart up, when they peek, I now have the drop on them at this point. Because they didn't know that I knew that they were there. And if I have multiple people in the lane with me, multiple people on the bomb site with me, that will also help our chances. If we all laser that person, they just recently lowered the health from 125 to 100 in the game. So it's much easier to get lasered now. You definitely have to check your corners now. You know, the game is played a little bit differently as of right now in the alpha. But yes, meta will be very important. But I do feel as though the third person perspective certain characters will just always be meta. The Demo will be, I will imagine that Demo will be meta, Vi will be meta, the guy with the ping darts will be meta for a long time, just because of the nature of what the game is. When you play against people who play like that, it's not going to be fun, and you stack up your team with information gatherers and people who can damage people off of peaks and off of power positions without even shooting them. That would be pretty interesting. Phoenix is interesting to me because she does have a very high powered sniper rifle that hits really hard, and she has the smoke that can track people. So she will be interesting for me to see where that goes with the meta, because she does take a lot of skill to use. She's not going to be like you're going to have to be really good with her weapons. They hit hard. Her pistol hits hard. Her sniper rifle hits hard. Her weapons hit hard, but she's very skillful. If your aim is good and you can hit your sniper shots and you can mark people, she could be a lot more dangerous than people are thinking right now. But yes, meta will be very interesting. The third person perspective will factor a lot into meta. That is essentially the two things that I wanted to talk about today. Thank you guys for the success on these Rogue Company videos. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. Ask me questions. I'm out.
I'ma fuck up my life.